Okay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to Faith and Calm. And this is episode 282. It's going to be fast. We gave the class and we forgot to record it, and Haskell Schumann has to rush off to do something else, but I'm going to tell the story that I intended to tell. And let's see. Haskell Schumann, is the recording on? I'm not sure. I hope so. And okay, it is on. So, so first, I'm going to start with the four things that we always say. Number one, we are in the unfolding of the redemption of the Jews and the whole world. And I know this because the Lubavitcher Rebbe told us, and he was in 1991, 1992, and he was never wrong about any of the predictions that he made, however unlikely they seemed at the time. And he made absolutely incredible ones about wars beginning, wars ending, everything, and that nobody else saw. So then, number two, you and I were handpicked to be in this incredible episode of Jewish history, this crucial episode of Jewish history, because we have a very important role to play, each one of us. If we didn't have that role to play, we wouldn't be here. Number three, we were given all the tools we need to navigate this time. We were given the Torah, which is our guidebook, and we were given the mitzvahs, which are our power tool. They're not only our power tools to change the world, they're our power tools to change ourselves. Because when you do a mitzvah, when you do the mitzvahs, as many as you can, when you do the mitzvahs, they transform you. How do they transform you? They don't make you into somebody else. They make you into who you always dreamed of being. And I'm so indebted to the mitzvahs. Finally, what we're doing tonight, learning about the redemption, is the fastest way to speed it up. That's what the Rebbe told us. So it's to speed up the process. So anyway, I'm going to tell a little story tonight based on the parsha that we just had this past Shabbos, which is Vayigash. And when in last week's parsha, if you remember, the parsha that was read just this 2 days ago in synagogue. So you know, there's a big confrontation. There's Yosef and Yehuda. Yehuda doesn't know. Yosef is dressed like an Egyptian viceroy, and Yehuda, he's doing it because he's testing the brothers. There's many reasons why Yosef is doing this, but Yehuda has no idea that this is his long lost brother, and and Yosef won't listen to reason. He has one of the brothers, Binyamin, captive as his slave, and Yehuda reasoned with him. He said, "Take me instead. You can't have him. His life will end if I don't bring Binyamin back to him. I'm better for war. I'm better for serving. I'm better in every way than him." And finally, it's nothing is working. There are 300 Egyptian armed soldiers in the room, and Yehuda decides nothing's working. I don't care. This is wrong what this person is doing. And he stands up with tremendous, the word in Yiddish is breitkeit. He stands up with tremendous self-confidence and he just says, no, this is not happening. I will fight you. I will do whatever I have to do, but you will not keep Binyamin. And when he transforms and when he stands up for himself, Joseph realizes what he needed to realize, and the whole thing resolves. He tells them, "I'm your brother. I'm going to save you all. I'm not only not going to harm you, I'm going to save you all." And the Rebbe says that this, interestingly enough, this is not just a little episode of what one famous ancestor of ours did. This is the process of Jewish history. When a Jew stops hiding, and like Jews are perennially in this problem. Do I stay out of sight? Do I go undercover, or am I proudly a Jew? And it, and when a Jew stands up for what is right boldly and says what the Torah says boldly, just says this is not correct. And whatever you're saying about Israel right now is phony baloney. When they stand up and do things with courage, the world listens and the world changes. So So anyway, I got a story from Rabbi Rabbi Zalman Tachtel from Chabad of Kansas. He tells a story about another Chabad shaliach. His name is Rabbi Dovi Hennig, and he's the Chabad shaliach in a place called Chengdu, China, not Shanghai, but Chengdu, China. And what kind of Jews come to those places in China and India? Israelis. They come there by flocks and flocks of them, especially right after army. They're looking for something different, something, you know, that'll blow their mind, something, they're seeking travel and they're seeking adventure and they're young, right? And they're seeking big experiences. And unfortunately, okay, so I'll tell the story. She ended up in his Chabad house, and they were wonderful to her as they are to everybody else who comes through. And they fed her, and she was at their meals. She took classes with them. She was there for a few weeks, and then the rabbi noticed that her face one day was a little bit different, a little bit pensive. And he said, "What's happening?" And I think something's up with you. And she said, "Rabbi, I'm going to tell you the truth. You know, I am seeking something that I'm not getting here. I'm seeking a spiritual experience. I'm seeking, that's why I'm traveling. That's why I'm seeking something like, I don't remember she was seeing something out of body experience, whatever rumor was traveling around Israel about what you can get in India or in China. And she said, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to an ashram. I heard about it a while ago, and you're supposed to have incredible experiences there, out of body experiences. And I'm going, no matter what you say, I'm going. I know you're not going to like it." He was horrified, of course. This young, pure Israeli girl is going to go to this, this center of spiritual impurity, idol worship. And he calls his wife. They both work on her, and nothing moves her. She said, "No, this is what I intended, and this is what I'm carrying out." And so the rabbi says after a while, "You know what? I see I am not going to move you. I see nothing is going to move you. You're a pure Jewish girl. You're going into this horrible place of impurity. Do me a favor. In a week it's going to be Hanukkah. At least take a menorah and candles and matches and light the menorah with a blessing when you're there. Do that for me and do it for yourself." And she was thinking to herself, "He's crazy. I'm going to light a Hanukkah menorah in this place of idol worship. Is he crazy? They're going to kill me." But she thinks, and she says, "You know what? They were so nice to me. They fed me. They talked to me." She said, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it, Rabbi." But in her mind, she knew, "I'm going to do it in the privacy of my room. I'm not going to do it in public." So she gets to the ashram. She's there for probably a few days, and it is Hanukkah. It's that night's going to be the first night of Hanukkah. And in her room, she sees the bag where she packed the Hanukkah menorah. She sets it up, and she says, I'm going to keep my word. I'm just going to keep my word. I said I'd do it." And she took it out, and she took the candles and the match, and she lit the shamash. She said the brachas, the blessings, and she lit the candle, and she lit the first light of Hanukkah. And she sees a shadow falling across her room. And she turns around, and to her horror, she didn't realize that her door was partly open. And now, who's standing in the hallway? The guru, the main guru, the one that everybody is in terror of. They respect him incredibly, but they're in terror of him. And he says, "Candles?" And then he said, "Will you, I, I want you to do this again tomorrow night. Will you do this again tomorrow night?" And she's so frightened. She goes, and then he said, "But I don't want you to do it here in your room. I want you to do it on my platform where I talk to everybody, in front of everybody. Will you do that?" And she's absolutely terrified. And she just goes, and he disappears. And she is so frightened. She doesn't know what they're going to do to her. If she does that in front of all these idol worshippers, what are they going to do to her? And she thinks, "I have to run away. I have to save my life." And then but believe it or not, she had another thought, but wait a minute. What about the spiritual highs that I came here for? I traveled all the way to China or India, wherever this ashram is. I traveled all the way here. I'm going to go and I'm not going to get those spiritual highs that everybody was talking about. And so she's going back and forth and back and forth. And soon it's the next it's the next evening. And she takes her little menorah, she puts it in a bag, she doesn't know what she's gonna do. And she goes to the meeting and he sees her and he goes like this. And she comes up to the front of the place and she takes out the menorah and she's scared as anything. And she takes out the candle and the matches and the matchbox and 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 she doesn't know what she's going to do. She's so scared. And all of a sudden, something comes over her, and she said, "No." She says to herself, "No, I am a Jew, and I'm going to light Hanukkah candles." Because she's saying it to herself because it's the first night, it's the second night of Hanukkah, and I don't care where I am. I'm going to do it with Jewish pride. I'm going to do it. And she lights the match and she says the brachas with tremendous pride. And she lights that menorah. And then she looks up. Remember, she's on her knees. And she looks up and she sees the guru towering over her. And there are tears in his eyes. And she's like, "Oh, gosh." And he leans down. And just so she can hear and no one else, not one other soul, he says, "Ani Yehudi. Thank you so much. I haven't seen Hanukkah candles for 30 years." And he straightens up and he goes on with his Avodah Zarah. She packs up, later on, she packs up. She's leaving the next day. She knows this is all hogwash. This is all phony baloney. It's all garbage. And and she runs away. She races away. She goes back to Rabbi Hennig and she tells him everything that happened. And she goes back to Israel. She becomes much more close to her Yiddishkeit. And Rabbi Hennig tries to get this guru. He calls him many, many, many times. The guru won't answer. And finally he gets through to the guru and he says, You're a Jew. You don't have to stay there. You have riches. Not you don't have to be in that horrible place. And he says, "Rabbi, it's too late for me. I'm too enmeshed. It's too late for me. It's too late for me. But Baruch Hashem, because of you, I got to see the Hanukkah candles. Thank you so much." So I want to tell you, it's so interesting this experience is not an isolated experience. There was when I used to live in Monsey when I was single, Monsey, New York. Um, I went to a family for Shabbos, and the guy told me his story. The husband has a lovely wife, lovely children. He told me a story. He was a secular Jew, and he went to an ashram like a lot of young Jews seeking spiritual experiences. And he was at this place, and everybody there would get their private audience at some time during the time they were there with the head guru. And so after weeks or whatever, it was his turn, and he went into the guru, and the guru told him, "Get out of here. You're a Jew. There's nothing like what we have, what the Jewish people have. This is get out of here. If you know what if you have any sense in your body, leave right away and go explore our own tradition. Go do it. Run for your life." And he came and he studied Torah and he became an Orthodox Jew. And so anyway, the point is that the Rebbe makes that when we do things with total Jewish pride, when we're not cowering because of what the world is saying and what the world is doing, when Jewish politicians stand up for what's right for Israel, and we in our personal lives stand up for what's right, the world listens and the world complies. So anyway, I want to thank you for listening, and I hope to see you all next week. And meanwhile, I'm going to turn off the recording, and everybody should have a good evening.